we're watching shares of NVIDIA this morning. A Reuters report says that Huawei is planning to begin mass shipments of its new AI chip to China as early as next month. That chip, which combines two processors into a single package, would provide an alternative to NVIDIA's H20 chip that now faces restrictions in China from the Trump administration. Joining us right now is an analyst who covers the industry closely. Matthew Bryson is Wedbush Securities Semiconductor analyst. And Matt, what do you think of this latest news? We know it's already a big blow for NVIDIA to the tune of $5.5 billion in this next quarter that they're going to take the write-off. Is this a market that they're going to be frozen out of?
I think that's the concern, right? So demand from China was actually picking up. It sounded like they potentially were working to enable AI on smartphones, which would have been really interesting. And yes, if you push NVIDIA out of the H20 or the NVIDIA's H20 out of China and Huawei fills the void, then potentially NVIDIA loses that market.
What's the alternative scenario? Because this is something that the Biden administration was working on before the Trump administration. It's a bipartisan issue in Washington. No one wants to see this, and industry can push back and say that freezing America out isn't going to stop the progress there. But what's the alternative situation? I don't think this comes as a huge surprise, even though the timing may have caught people a little off guard.
Yeah, well, I mean, the alternative is to continue doing what we're doing, where the H20 was a less performant chip, well less performant than what NVIDIA is shipping to the rest of the world. But Chinese companies were still taking it because they liked NVIDIA software. And so you continue to give NVIDIA a foothold. And again, with the current administration, you don't know if this is a bargaining chip. So they come back and they offer China access to some NVIDIA technology as part of a trade deal, or whether it's something permanent.
So what do you do with the stock in the meantime?
I think with or without China, that NVIDIA, in part because of their dominance with CUDA, they will be the dominant supplier of AI in 2025, 2026, 2027. And so I think it certainly hurts if they can't sell it to China. But at the same time, I also really believe in AI. And I think that NVIDIA is going to be the primary beneficiary on the hardware side of eventually AI getting used for everything.
What do you think about Taiwan Semiconductor? Because last week that company said that, no problems here, even with the tariffs, that they are going to be able to continue to meet the supply and expectations of the market at this point. This morning in Taiwan, the entire market was lower. It was led lower by Taiwan Semiconductor, and concerns about that. Investors not necessarily buying into that entire picture. Do you?
Yeah, so I think you have the same problem that you do with NVIDIA, right? So AI has been driving Taiwan Semi over the last couple of years, or at least has been driving a significant portion of the additional growth they've been seeing. And so structurally, we have this question of if we have a more difficult economy, if spending gets cut back, then do you see AI suffer? Also, do you see things like Apple handsets suffer? And that weighs on TSM's near-term results. At the same time, we're seeing AI in particular drive demand for high-end semis, and Taiwan Semi dominates that space. And so I think next year after, again, they are going to be the leader, and they will sell lots of advanced chips. And so could there be a blip in growth? Certainly, if things get worse from a macro perspective, there could be, but I don't think it changes where Taiwan Semi is 2 years, 3 years from now.